Hello, look at us go. Hello, look at us go. Welcome into the Eric Zane Show podcast, a daily show where I discuss news, nonsense, and my personal adventures each and every day of the work week. Look at all these wonderful souls. I'm going to make Brandis cry. No, I won't do that. I just want to say how happy I am for Brandis here, who's in the audience. I see her name, and she's having a rough, last handful of days, weeks, because, when puppy dogs go to the Rainbow Bridge, that makes people sad. We don't like that. And then out of the blue, baby Jesus gave her a new dog. Stray dog just kind of wandered in her beautiful path. And she's like, oh, I think I want to help this dog. And the dog was all scared, shitless, and no identification. She did her best to try to find out who this dog belongs to. But at the end of the day, the dog needs care. Described as the universal puppy distribution system. Finally wins the dog's trust. It looks to be some type of lab. A little less than 1 year, according to the pictures I saw, which I'll try to make available in a second here. And then took the dog to the vet. Able to have the professionals look over the dog. Like, I'm pretty sure at this point in time, Brandis, this is the fella who went to the Rainbow Bridge. Okay, we love him. Look at that boy. Hello, fella. Okay. And then, out of the blue, this fella, Bean. Look at. She tells the story that I was just talking about. A friend said maybe Ace, I guess that was the other pooches, who sent him because he knew you needed him. Look at this dog. Oh, my God. Oh, wow. Spectacular. And then here's the new one laying with this guy. Look at this one. Who's this? Who's this bro or chick? There's Brandis. Juliette Lewis with tats. Nice, cute close-up pic. I love dogs so much. Here they are taking a walk together. Uh-oh, someone needs some leash training. Look at that face. This picture's my favorite, though, because of this right here. Look at those tootsies. Forget the dogs. Brandis showing off her piggies, which that makes EZ happy. Holy shit. Yeah, Eric, you made it weird. Ryan says, this fraudulent motherfucking creep has spent hours on those feet. Minutes, okay? It doesn't take that long to look at feet. Okay? It's not hours I stare at them, you idiot. Are you suggesting something sinister is happening there? That the foot is the most attractive person in the human form. Wait a minute. The foot is the most attractive thing in the human form. That's not weird. Just like someone has beautiful eyes. Nick says though they're called slabs in the foot fetish world. I don't like that at all. Don't be sending feet pics around this guy, says Hurricane Ashley. Ashley, I've seen pictures of Ashley's feet. of all the feet that exist in the world, hers are beyond help. No. She should wear socks all the time. Ryan says, big fraud. Would you be interested if I could get Kenny to send you photos of his feet? Of course. Kenny asked, when you married Diana, were you thinking about her feet, but trying not to reveal that? And that, no, I wasn't into that then. It wasn't until later in life that feet became a thing. Don't send pictures of feet, for fuck's sake. Now it's just, I don't want people I know sending me pictures of their feet. God damn it. Oh, gross. Ashley's are like the worst. She said that her boyfriend, Tim, gave her $100 to get her feet fixed. And I said, it's going to take $5,000. All right. Well, enough of that. Okay, the point of this was to talk about Brandis getting a baby Jesus sent her a new dog. Bean. Oh, man, that's great. So happy about that. Hope you all did well yesterday, the past 24 hours, trying to maybe stay healthy to some degree with our Fraudulent Fatties program, where a Facebook group has been created. In fact, let me throw it up here right now, where we can encourage each other and bust each other's balls if we suspect that a member is not doing their part. Yesterday, a good portion of both shows was dedicated to beating the hell out of Amanda, who, is like up and down, up and down. One day, she's all great and excited. The next day, she's got down in the dumps. And it all stems, I don't know what the hell it stems from, but I know that on the days that she's down in the dumps, I'm guessing those are the days that she's not taking care of herself. This is Mike Q. Takes a picture of him looking sharp. This is my favorite shirt. It's the first time it's fit since 2016. Best part of this pic is down here. Those feet. Feet are universal. To me, it's not sexual. It's just they look great. Every person, except Ashley, has great-looking feet. Nikki is gaining some momentum. I'm at my lowest weight in 26 years. That's why I said, because she was like, oh, no, I've been at it for this amount of time. I've only lost 7 pounds. It's like, it's taken you decades to get to the point that you're at now. Give yourself a fucking chance, dick. Now she's down 2 weeks, 8.2. Fantastic job. And then this sentence, I have so much more to go. We don't say that in our group. We don't talk about how much more we have to go. We talk about currently today, I have to make good choices, and then at the end of the day, I will try it again tomorrow. Take it easy. Take it easy. By the way, this one thing that concerns me is you say my knee hurts like hell and my ankle looks like it exploded, but I did those effing stairs. Do not get injured, okay? On the days, if you start to develop tendonitis or something like that, you will be on the shelf for extended time, and then it's no moving, okay? So inflammation of the joints is very real, especially for a person who's heavier than they should be, and they suddenly start doing more activity, even if it's something that's just going up the stairs more than you used to, okay? So make sure that you give yourself ample recovery, maybe perhaps more than one day. But in those days, just don't eat like a dick. You don't need to do this all at once. That leads to overtraining and pain. And pain is your body's way of saying, I believe you are not going to take those stairs anymore. So don't be dumb about this. Listen to your body. There's Mariah. I don't know Mariah. Wait a minute. Do I know Mariah? Is that? Yeah, that's Amanda's kid. Oh, okay. I got you. Look like a couple of hippies here. Good for Mariah that she's in here. Someone needs to yell at me, Stevie says. I haven't been walking as much as I should. Diet is keto, and it's fine. I need to move more. That is all. Yeah, I don't know how you do that keto shit. Yeah, you'll lose weight, but to me, it seems unsustainable. I mean, for me. Yeah, get your fucking ass out there and move. I could spend the whole day on this, looking at all these things and yelling at these people. It's like my favorite thing to do. There's your old pal EZ. Went late into the night last night to get this done, for me at least. Nothing. There's Brandis and her pooch. Ryan is the story because while he's been working hard at being disgusting for a long time, look at all these fitness rings that he's closing. And this day in particular, he let his guard down, and for dinner he had 1.5 donuts. And that was his dinner. But he's kind of balancing it because look at how much he moved. 1,017 calories of the 480 calorie goal. Holy shit. You're still going to feel like shit, though. Aram is now eating some weird food, of course. He says he's a flour addict. This is my first meal using organic, sprouted, flourless bread. It does not taste as delicious as my flour tortillas did. I don't even know what millet and spelt are, but they sound healthy. Yeah, this looks like it would be. You're right. There will be a learning curve there. Millet and spelt. Hey, holy shit, dude, you're killing it with the healthy words and foods, no doubt. All right. Amanda has checked in. Looks like something helpful. That's good. About anyone done any courses on that site about learning nutrition basics. This is gross. She announced, I have a party tomorrow night so I can sweat my tits off. Ugh. So gross, Amanda. That's horrible. No one wants to hear about you sweating your titties off. She writes, thank you, Eric, for doing what I wanted you to do. My new plan is eat when I'm hungry, sleep when I'm dead, and walk on my treadmill every night while watching TV. Aram suggests throw those prepackaged manufactured snack packets away. I eat that stuff like Cliff Bars in the beginning, and it's just dessert disguised in a health food package with, quote, 20 grams of protein written to trick us. The quality of the protein is probably so shitty that our bodies will not absorb it. I like this general rule. If a factory and or a chemist is needed to manufacture it, don't eat it. He's suggesting you eat food. Yeah, throw all that shit away. Everybody said that. All that dumb processed food that you eat is a shit show. All right, well, I'm not going to sit here and call you names and insult you when you, participate in the group. but, you have a track record. You're probably going to go AWOL for about 9 days and then post that you got the blues and you're depressed and, oh, look at me. I'm so sad. Someone help me. No, fuck you. We're helping ourselves. That's the point of the group, dick. So no more of this bullshit. You're the only person I know who can be so actively involved in a group for the very first day and then, stop. I don't know how you even do that. It's embarrassing. Maureen with the grocery order. Look at all this fantastic food. I'm so proud. Excellent, excellent work. Everything except for Amanda announcing to the world that she's sweating her tits off. My God. All right. I'm not sure why Amanda says, yeah, Aram can bite me. Yeah, I don't think Aram did anything. I don't think that Aram did anything that would require an attack on him. He wants you to throw out those processed foods. By the way, that nice picture of Amanda's daughter and her pal there, whoever that person was. I don't know. I think I would have hit the edit button there, Amanda. Here on this cheery group of people. All right. That nice looking gentleman that was next to your sweet daughter there took his life. Why the fuck are you telling us this? You ever notice that this show is supposed to be light and stupid and ridiculous? I'm talking about liking dudes' feet, the feet of dudes. Everybody's just being silly. We were having so much fun talking about the new addition to Brandis's family with that puppy dog Bean and the divine intervention. It's all a feel-good Friday. And out of the blue, you drop that horrible bit of news to us. Isn't there any part in your dumb brain that says maybe I better wait before I just slap this on the world? Does that ever kind of click in your brain? Of sometimes people say time and a place. Time and a place. We don't ever want to hear, yeah, hey, guess what, guys? That picture of that guy there, he just killed himself. What an asshole. God damn. Kenny says time and place, read the room, etc. At what point in this conversation did you think, oh, I can't wait to drop the nugget that guy there is now dead? That was horrible. Amanda, I need to remind you. If you're talking, it's a disaster. Because odds are you're doing it without thinking. Okay? And this is coming from me. How the hell is it that I'm explaining this? Name was Shane. Don't make fun of hippies. Well, what? Huh? Who cares? What are you talking about? I don't want you to go off on hippies. It was one comment. It's you guys are Amanda is such a pain in the ass. Jesus Christ. Yeah, I didn't want you to go off on hippies. Yeah, just keep those portions of information to yourself. That's ridiculous. Just drop that on us like that. Out of the blue, everyone's having a good time. Hey, guess what? That guy's dead.
Stupid fucking hippie. Take a shower, hippie. Smelly shit, hippie. Dirty fucking hippie. Stupid fucking hippie. Take a shower, hippie. Smelly shit, hippie. Dirty fucking hippie.
You realize that this would not have happened if you had not said, yeah, don't make fun of hippies. And hey, this guy's dead. Don't make fun of hippies.
Stupid fucking hippie. Take a shower, hippie. Smelly shit, hippie. Dirty fucking hippie. Stupid fucking hippie. Take a shower, hippie. Smelly shit, hippie. Dirty fucking hippie.
All right. I have adopted a eating policy of as long as I'm not overeating, I am doing a million times better than what I used to be. I am now north of 5 pounds gone in 2 weeks and 3 days. In fact, I think I was a little dehydrated yesterday because I was down to like 181.4. And that quickly went up because I was a little thirsty, you know. But this morning, again, consistently dropping a little bit, a few ounces a day on this weight loss adventure. The plan to drop 30. All right. Water's been excellent for your old pal EZ. So, yeah, yesterday it was, I'm avoiding all the sugary shit, all the candy, and it's still everywhere in this household. Everywhere I am surrounded by garbage. Now, I don't want you to get the idea that I'm sitting around like being militant and not, when I'm hungry, I have something to eat. I just am not overdoing it. Like, I was feeling extremely hungry, and I just remember buyers said if you're going to eat anything that's flour or sugar-based or anything like that, mix protein with it. So, honestly, I had a cheese sandwich, 2 pieces of cheddar on bread. And then I had to go to Jackie's work party. Her employer does this big, like, family picnic type of deal, and they had a food truck there. And they got pulled pork sandwiches, slider size. So it was a slider bun with pulled pork and, like, a bit of cheesy potatoes, like half a cup's worth on the side. And I ate it. That's what there is to eat. I ate it. Water to drink. And, but in the past, I'd go back and get seconds and thirds. And then that was the last thing I had to eat. And that was at like 5:45 p.m. All good. And then got my steps in a little later in the day, but no doubt fucking did it. Honestly, I'll have to really grind it out to get steps in today because I have to travel to Detroit to be part of Carl's show. Who Are These Podcasts live in Detroit at the Magic Bag. I'm hoping that at one point, at least one member of the audience will go to those shows. They are so much fun. You would love it. You should listen to Who Are These Podcasts. You can download it wherever you download shows. Very, very fun show. And then you'll get to know everybody. Ryan says, I wanted to go badly. Why didn't you go? I know Kyle listens. I know Ryan listens. I don't know who else listens, but you guys should listen to that show. It's a lot of fun. But so I'm going there for that. Now, my plan was, I was like, fuck, I hate with a passion not sleeping in my own bed. All right? Unless if it's like up north. I'm like, fuck. But I want to hang out for a little bit after the show, so that's going to be late. I can't be driving back from Detroit, leaving at like midnight. So, I mean, I know me. That's like hours after my bedtime. But I'm such a cheap bastard. I don't want to get a hotel, and I don't want to sleep in a bed that is not my own without my Pooh Bear. But I have to. So, fuck. I got to get a damn hotel room. So all this travel, heading over there, takes 2.5 hours to get there. At some point, I'm going to have to get steps in. I'll be walking around. The fucking club. It's a great, great thought. Why not take the RV? Well, here's the deal with the RV. There and back with the RV is probably north of $100 in fuel. It's a pain in the ass. You can't park the fucking thing anywhere. And you know, I have to go pick it up. There's a lot of setup that goes to it. Got to put water in the thing. I think it's easier actually to just get a fucking hotel. That's a great thought and something I've thought of too. Nick suggests you need a topper for your truck. That's what I sleep in. I have thought about that. Putting a topper in the truck. Yes. I am all about a topper in the truck. Over the bed of the truck, and then you just crash in that thing. That is going to happen, I think. My truck is falling apart. Like, it's being rotted out by rust. Those years of trucks that were made in the U.S., domestic trucks. I don't know. It's like all of the automakers got together. It doesn't matter what type of truck it is. Ford, Chevy, GMC, Dodge, doesn't matter. Where the wheels are, above the wheels, rot out. The bottom of the doors, rot out, rust. And mine is no exception. I think they eventually got to a point where it's like they colluded to make them shitty. If you think about it, every time you turn on a commercial or turn on the TV and there's a commercial for an American-made truck, they're talking about how tough they are, how they can drive through anything. And they're fucking shit when it comes to, them staying intact. They just fall apart, rust out. I don't think it's a problem anymore. It's like, how did you finally figure it out? That is such bullshit that can happen. Aram says road salt. Well, yes, but the cars that I have don't do that. I have a car, the fucking Honda that I have that's almost 20 years old isn't rusted at all. And it's been in the same Michigan winters. It looks brand new, the body, except for when I hit it. Very strange to me. Which brings me to the strike. It's a perfect opportunity to start talking about the strike. The United Auto Workers are going up the Big Three's ass with a wire brush. First of all, they want a large pay raise, and they want graduated pay raises over the life of this next contract. I think the union is offering a 20% pay raise or something like that. It's all in this article. I'll get into it, but they want considerably more than that. The union wants 36% pay raise, 5% additionally every year for a total of the life of the contract. The end of the contract, they should be making 56% more than what they are now. That is substantial. They also want the return of the pension when the auto companies, because they run their business like shit in 08 and 09, were on the brink of bankruptcy. The union gave up their pension. Now, there's two things you get with this company, with these companies. You can take the money you earn and put it into a 401k, which is excellent. In addition, every day you work, you earn money towards your pension. So when you retire, you can earn Social Security income, you can earn your pension income, and you can earn your 401k income. It's wonderful. The employees gave that up when those companies were about to go belly up. Now they want it back. And the big three are like, no, we're not giving that back. And they're like, well, fuck you. This is bullshit. They have record profits. CEOs of these companies have given themselves 40% pay raises. Okay? And cars to the consumer are at an all-time high. In addition, the manufacturing of a vehicle these days, especially EVs, is considerably less work. There are a lot less moving parts in this EV thing, which I think honestly is a fad. It won't last, but that's just my opinion. It takes a lot less labor to make an EV vehicle than it does a combustion vehicle. So there's that. They also want a 32-hour work week. They want to go from 40 hours a week to 32, and they want to avoid forced overtime. In some cases, union workers have had to work 7 days a week for several months in a row. They want to limit that. They feel that their workers need time off, which that's reasonable to me. The automakers are saying that's bullshit. We cannot sustain any of that. And it's not feasible to the company. We would go under. That's what they're claiming. The union says back, bullshit. You're lying. Some of you who are union employees, I know for a fact, Rob is, I think. Blue State Rob says 32-hour work week, fuck off. Make it 4 10-hour shifts and be done with it. Maybe. You got to understand, though. With all of these things that they want, this is what you do. You like shoot for the moon, a good negotiator, and eventually there will have to be some concession. You know? The employees, the way they're doing it is instead of just the entire industry walking off of the job, what the union has decided to do, because they think this is going to take a long time, is there's 3 large plants, one in Missouri, one in Wayne, Michigan, and one in Toledo, Ohio, where they've ordered the employees at those plants, which have, several thousand people in each of them, to walk off. But the rest of the plants don't walk off. So the rest of the plants are working, but this is all fucked up. It's going to make everything difficult. So what they're doing is they're slowly grinding the work back so that these employees can earn as much money as they can while the strike is going on, but still cause a lot of mischief with these companies. And then you're looking at the trickle-down effect in Michigan in particular and the entire Midwest. Manufacturing, it's a backbone of all manufacturing right here. So you've got small mom-and-pop shops that are making parts for these companies that are slowly going to grind to a halt. If this goes any amount of time, it's going to be a disaster. It's unprecedented. You've never had all three automakers being shuttered by this approach by the auto workers. My God. The union went on strike despite offers from the companies to raise hourly wages as much as 20% over the life of the contracts, with the top existing hourly pay of $32.32 an hour. Those offers would have taken the senior-most auto workers to a base pay of more than $80,000 a year, not including overtime or profit-sharing bonuses. The union said no. We want an immediate 20% and 4 additional raises of 5% during the life of the contract. All right, so I got some of that wrong. I thought it was 36% plus 20% more. No. They said, all right, we'll take the 20, but we need another 20 over the life of the contract to give these people 40% raises. It did lower those pay demands late in the negotiations, though apparently not enough to close the gap to the automakers' offers. They talked about the pensions, what I talked about, how they had given those up, these employees. I think that, to me, is a big thing. You know, they gave it up in good faith to keep those companies alive. And then that was 14 years ago, for fuck's sake. Give it back to these fucking people. My God. Top on the union's hit list of past concessions was a demand to end a lower tier of pay and benefits for workers hired since 2007. While those workers can now achieve the same top hourly pay as the more senior workers, it can take them 8 years in the company to reach that level. All right, there's a lot of boring shit here that I guess I don't want to get into. That I did touch on to some degree, but I don't want to end up going and rereading them. But that's basically what they're looking at. So that's it. While we're at it, Drew Barrymore is figuring out what happens when you fuck with the union. She's lucky she's not getting her knees broken. Back in the day, you break a strike, you're going to get fucked up. Remember, she said, okay, yeah, I know there's a writer's strike, but I've decided it's time to get the Drew Barrymore show back to work. Now, you might be like, well, it's a talk show. What does a writer do? Well, believe it or not, they have a few writers on that show that write all the things on the prompter, like when they're going from guest to guest to guest, that she just looks at and reads. And if you do the show without the efforts from the union writers, you are breaking the strike. Now, if it were my talk show, I think the best thing to do is don't use writers ever at any one point. Like if you ever had a show that you could pull off and just all they do is just Drew writes down who's going to be on the show. You don't need a writer to do all these transitions and shit like that. Just fucking do it yourself. It's your show. Why do you have to have writers? You know? I don't have a fucking writer. Well, I do. I write shit down, and that's it. For a show like that, where you have conversations taking place and guests, what the fuck do you need a writer for in the first place? You have a brain, Gertie. I'd love to interview her, by the way, and ask her questions about making the movie E.T. I think she's really pretty, by the way. A little young. What is she, like 45? First of all, Ryan writes, so if they strike, does that mean new car prices go even crazy higher than what they already are? Because there will be no supply with striking? I don't know. I think we won't have cars by those companies. Rob says it's called crossing the picket line. Don't cross the line. The union workers, by the way, in the auto workers strike, will get $500 per week of union pay. They also, if you go to like where the union meet, Union Hall or whatever, they have like supplies like bread and various staple items that they can use. Hopefully they have a backup job. They can be a fucking fry cook at Bosco's Pub or some shit. I don't know. But in the end, they're hoping for to get what they want. And frankly, they should. I mean, come on now. I just don't believe these billionaires when they tell us that the company will go belly up. Yeah, if you own a company like that or you're in charge of a company like that, you're a CEO, and you take a 40% pay raise, that's embarrassing. And then you expect, and you don't give these people back their pension. That you do that enough, you whittle away their trust. This is what happens. It looks terrible. Some of you are suggesting the 32-hour a work week thing is BS. Why? Why is that BS? It's not like they have to shut the whole plant down. They can just kind of rotate it. Groups of people will work 4 days, and then the next week, someone else. There is a way to do that, in my opinion. I think that they should. Why not? Keep them as happy as possible. Blue State Rob, he says, I was planning on donating blood plasma and doing DoorDash if the UPS Teamsters went on strike. Tyler says they want more money while working less, and he calls them lazy. I don't endorse calling union members lazy. I think it's based on how much money that those workers are bringing in for the corporate entities that run the place. Kenny says, what's BS is the work school week is 5 days and the weekend is only 2. Well, all right. Rob says the whole world needs to do the 4 10-hour shifts. All right, now the jokes are flying. As Nick writes, next thing they'll want is summers off, like the lazy teachers. By the way, if you want to work for Tim Mayer at Shoreliner Striping, he has work now. And boy, will you work. ShorelinerStriping.com. Reach out to him. Okay, I got off the track. Drew Barrymore, she's like, okay, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do my show. I'm a strike breaking show. And that's how it's going to be. On Tuesday of this week, Barrymore was supposed to, she was planning on hosting something called the National Book Awards in the fall. Well, the National Book Foundation, which who knew that was a thing, They said, we don't need you now to speak at our event at the National Book Awards. You're out. We don't want you here. They say it's incomprehensible that you would be a strike breaker. That's the thing. You break a strike, it doesn't like end when the strike ends. They don't welcome you back. Okay? If you aren't like in solidarity with the writers and the Screen Actors Guild, and then you decide to go it alone, you're fucked. Any show. Didn't The View do that too? Why isn't The View getting murdered? Part of me thinks that the entire entertainment industry, on the surface, they support unions, but when you really dig deep, they don't. Like this case. They have rescinded their invitation to Drew Barrymore. Our commitment is to ensure that the focus of the awards remains on celebrating writers and books. We are grateful to Ms. Barrymore and her team for their understanding in this situation. That's a fuck you. On Sunday, Barrymore announced she was saying, fuck you, union, we're coming back. On September 18th, that would be Monday. Immediate backlash. And this historic duel. If you remember, this strike started with just the Writers Guild. And then the Screen Actors Guild joined. The Screen Actors Guild AFTRA joined to help out and be like unified with them. But now, my God, this is a bad decision. You do not want to cross the picket line. According to the Writers Guild, the Drew Barrymore Show is a Writers Guild covered struck show that is planning to return without writers. The Guild has and will continue to picket struck shows that are in production during the strike. Any writing on the Drew Barrymore Show is a violation of WGA strike rules. Oh, no. But this isn't like the 1960s. If it were, someone would beat her ass. I'm not kidding you. Someone's ass would get kicked. We need to go back to some ass kickings in order for this really to take hold. She doesn't give a shit. She doesn't give a shit that the Writers Guild is saying, look, what the fuck? Someone actually needs to kick ass here. Maybe not violence. Maybe just like slashing tires or perhaps a car bomb. But, you know, something back in the day would definitely have happened. Part of why Barrymore has been placed under a microscope in this situation is because of her initial perceived support of the WGA back in May. She stepped down from hosting the MTV Movie Awards. She's like, yeah, labor. Yeah, fuck that. Yeah, let's strike. She said in May, I have listened to the writers, and in order to truly respect them, I will pivot from hosting the MTV Movie and TV Awards live in solidarity with the strike. She said in a statement shortly after the strike began. And now she's doing the opposite. What an asshole. My God. Pick one. Corey says slashing tires to a car bomb is a pretty big leap. Rob says, check your email, Eric. I sent a union-related video. Well, that's a red flag. I sometimes fall for the momentum stopping. Hey, Eric, check your email. I'm not going to do that right now. I'll save it for later. We'll just have to revisit it. Damn it. He says, Eric, it's a fight. It's a verbal fight. Dude, you are rolling the dice. Okay? Union president kicks senator's ass. Okay, hang on. Skip ads. Video check. Audio check. Mark Wayne Mullen goes nuclear on labor leader in fiery hearing on unions. Senate Health Committee holds hearing on defending workers from union busting.
Senator Mark Wayne Mullen.
Thank you, Ranking Member.
Mark Wayne Mullen is a senator.
Thank you, everybody, for being here. And I want to make it very clear, I'm not against unions. I'm not at all. Some of my very good friends work for unions. They work hard and they do a good job. And so my statements, please don't make an assumption that I'm anti-union. But I also want to set the record straight. All three of you guys have talked about employers being intimidating their employees. But you guys haven't ever spoke about when the unions try to unionize, the intimidation they have to other people that aren't wanting to unionize. You guys don't mention that. Because, see, I started with nothing. Absolutely nothing. In fact, I started below nothing. And I started growing this little plumbing company with 6 employees to now we have over 300 employees. And back in 2009, you guys tried to unionize me. My guys were making money. They were getting paid more than the union halls were paying their plumbers. Our benefits were better. But because we started bidding jobs that were union jobs and winning those, union pipe fitters decided they were going to come after us. They would show up at my house. They'd be leaning up against my trucks.
Right.
I'm not afraid of a physical confrontation. In fact, sometimes I look forward to it.
Fuck around and find out.
That's not my problem. But when you're doing that to my employees, and then when that didn't work, they started picketing our job site, saying, shame on Mullen. Shame on Mullen. For what?
Because you're a union buster, asshole.
Because we were paying higher wages? Because we had better benefits and we wasn't requiring them to pay your guys' exorbitant salaries? You talk about CEOs that are making all this money? And what do you make, Mr. O'Brien?
Well, I'm glad you asked that question.
Yeah, I know what you make, because in 2019, your salary was, what is this, $193,000? I'm sure you got some pay raises since then.
Yeah, when I was
And the average UPS driver, the feeder driver, makes $35,000 a year. What do you bring?
That's inaccurate.
Hold on a second.
That's inaccurate. State facts.
I've got it right here.
State facts. That's inaccurate.
The average UPS feeder driver makes $35,000. If you don't know your facts, then maybe you should.
I know them because I negotiate the contract.
So I say one thing to you. What do you bring for that salary?
What do I bring?
Yeah. What job have you committed, or have you started? What job have you created? One job, other than sucking the paycheck out of somebody else that you want to say that you're trying to provide because you're forcing them to pay dues? And
no, we don't force them.
Senator, you've asked the
You're out of line.
Let him answer
Actually,
the
I
question.
haven't, and don't tell me I'm out of line.
You're out of line.
Don't tell me I'm out of line.
Well, you frame,
don't tell me.
you frame the statement.
You need to shut your mouth because you don't know what you're talking about.
You're going to tell me to shut my mouth?
Yes, I did.
Hold it.
Yeah.
Hold it.
Tough guy. I'm not afraid of physical.
Senator, hold it.
But don't sit there and tell me I'm out of line.
Bernie Sanders.
Senator, you made a statement. You asked the question.
I didn't ask a question.
You did.
I answered the question.
You asked the question about how much money you made. Let him answer.
It was a rhetorical question.
Well, you may think it's rhetorical.
It
sounded
was
to me
rhetorical.
like a question. Let him answer the question.
I'm not yielding my time to him. So if you're going to let me keep my time, that's fine.
You'll have your time. Let him. You ask a question. He has a right to answer that.
As far as my salary goes, my salary, if you follow me around, I actually look at this building. I bet you I work more hours than you do. Twice as many hours.
That's impossible. But
no, that's true.
Sir, you don't know what hard work is. You want to follow my schedule?
I'll do it in a minute. Secondly, UPS feeder drivers, and you can quote Carol Tomei, who quoted this. They make $93,000 on the lower end. Some of them making $150,000.
I said feeder drivers.
Feeder drivers, tractor trailer drivers. Some of them making $150,000 per year.
Some of them do. I don't disagree with that. After you've been there 4 years.
Most of them make over $1,000.
Okay.
Most of them make over $100,000.
So reclaiming my time. I go back to the whole fact.
Okay, at this point, I'm with Union guy. This guy's an asshole here, this senator, with his stupid plumbing business. Fuck this guy.
Sir, you haven't created a job.
We haven't?
You haven't been there. You haven't.
Sure we have.
You haven't.
Sure we have.
Tell me one job that you created.
What are you talking about? Be specific.
You're an employer?
No, we're not an
employ
employer.
People?
No, but it's funny. We create opportunity. We create opportunity because we hold greedy CEOs like yourself accountable.
You're calling me a greedy CEO?
Oh yeah, you are. You want to attack my salary? I'll attack yours. What did you make? What did you make?
You might think that senator guy here with the plumbing business he came in hot, but I think the union guy has fucking bashed him right back, right on the bridge of the nose.
When you owned your company.
When I made my company, I kept my salary down at about $50,000 a year because I invested every penny into it.
Okay, all right. You mean you hid money?
No, I didn't hide. Oh, hold on a second.
Okay, go ahead.
He said that's out of line. You said I was out of line.
We're even.
We're not.
We're even.
Not even. We're not even close to being even. You think it's smart? You think you're funny?
I do. I think he's very funny.
Oh, you're not.
You think you're funny?
No, I never said. Did I smile?
You frame your opening.
Hold on.
You frame your opening statement saying you're a
Senator. Continue. Senator, please continue your statements.
But sir, this is. I think it's great that you're doing this because this shows their behavior on how they try to come in and organize a shop. They say about intimidation, and it's not about intimidation.
This may show your behavior here. But stay on the issue, please.
The issue is if you're really for.
He's lost this room. This asshole.
The employee. Then
he doesn't know his question.
Why are you against right to work? Why are you against private ballots? Okay. If you're really about the employee, let the employee make the choice. I'm not anti-union, but when you don't want to...
The fuck you're not?
...have a private ballot, that's not intimidating? That's not intimidating? Why wouldn't you want a private ballot? That is intimidating the employee. If you don't want a right to work state...
This guy makes a big deal about, I pay my guys more than the union does. I've got this. It's like, yeah, but the union people, they have the protection of the group that if they want something, they can work as a team, and all of the people that are represented by the union can earn pay raises. Not just you, just because you it's a union busting shop is what it is.
Don't force somebody to pay dues to an organization they may not agree with. Don't force somebody to do something they
don't have to, asshole. They can go work for you.
Don't want to do. That's called employee choice. If you want to be part of a union, God bless you, be part of a union. I have no issue with that. But don't
what a liar.
Stand up here and say that an employee is the one that intimidates their employers are intimidating their employees, not becoming a union.
Okay, Senator,
that's not
thank
accurate.
you. Thank you very much, Senator Murray.
So this guy got all this shit off of his chest and didn't really gain anything. My God. All right, let's go back and see what you all have to say about this. Kyle writes, can you just email me the rest of this story? Great chance for impressions with Bernie Sanders. Senator, enough. So, Rob, wait a minute. Where are you in this? Are you saying that, because you're in a union, and what do you all think? Let's see. Looks like a lot of short comments. Corey says, it sounds like complete bullshit. No way a driver is making $93,000. I think he was saying a senior driver would be. Cole says they're both assholes. Nate says, fuck unions. I'm with plumber guy all day. Cole says, asshole of the day, all unions. Rob says they are, Corey. They make good money. I'm on the list to become a UPS feeder driver. Aram says he is all over the place. Nate says, I'm a union pipe fitter, and I'm leaving my company because the atmosphere of self-entitlement and laziness. Oh, there you go. Rob says, if you know what they are talking about, Aram, this is pretty easy to follow. And then Rob insults Aram and says he's almost as ignorant as Jamingo. Aram says his employees can go work for the union if they want, correct? Rob says, I told you it was a good fight. Corey says that the guy started out with a good point and then kind of lost it. Blue State Rob says, I'm in bald union guys union. And then Jimmy in Maine says, Jimmy Hoffel was a good guy. All right, I gotta know about that. By the way, Rick is in a paintball competition again. We cannot seem to touch base. All right, Rob. Now, Rob, I want you to self-edit, okay? You're always on double secret probation. I want you to, in your brain, as I call you, pump yourself up to not give us minutia. If you catch yourself saying something like, long story short, it is too long, be brief, you know? You're one of the chatterboxes that my internal alarms start going off when you talk too much. You're a chatterbox.
Yellow.
Okay, what's going on here?
So the bald guy in that video is Sean O'Brien. He's the Teamsters Union president. So he's a former truck driver from Boston. So he started as a worker and worked his way up. That's the moral of the story. And that's the guy who represents my union.
Okay. But you told me to call you. Well, I mean, did you? I mean, where do you stand?
So I stand in the, when you see me on the Ben and Eric show, I am working my warehouse job that is a Teamster job. Most of the jobs and every UPS driver, well, almost every, unless that's a supervisor.
No, I mean, where do you stand on the issue here? I'm not like where you physically stand.
Okay, well, that's an important detail. So what he was saying there, what the senator was saying, obviously, that the UPS drivers or the UPS feeder drivers, which are what that is that's the tractor trailer drivers you see driving down the road with the UPS logo and the trailer and all that. It's not the brown trucks. So what he was saying there is that, they make $35,000 a year. Well, I know that's a lie because right now, me working in the warehouse, based off of even the old contract that just expired, I make more than that. So the contract that just went through for us, which became in effect August 1st, is way better than $35,000 a year.
Okay,
and the
so
UPS feeder driver makes way more money than I do.
So are we saying that Senator guy is full of shit and just an asshole?
Yeah, he's a senator from Oklahoma, Republican senator. He's made his money in pipe fitting, so he's got a valid opinion on unions.
Right. He's witnessed it firsthand. He hired union busting work. Union doesn't like that. They make these people uncomfortable. He described it as intimidation. He's getting off. He's getting off fucking easy, is what he's getting off. You know?
Yeah, exactly. Because what he's saying there is that if what they would picket and they would threaten to beat the ass of anybody who was going to bid a job lower than the union or at the same price. And I might have a detail or two of that wrong, but the gist of it is that they're battling for labor, and any business that has union workers, and any business for that matter, is trying to reduce its labor costs. And the unions come in and try to make sure that those people
Correct.
like me are treated,
taken care of.
respect and dignity.
That's the point.
And are taken care of exactly on the monetary end.
Yes.
So
and this guy, he's a union busting shop who will entice these people to pay them more. But he's looking at it trickles down. He's then going to go get jobs and bid them lower than the union and get those bigger jobs. And the union suffers. And that means the people who are employed in union jobs, they will suffer. So that's why they're trying to look out for the other pipe fitters.
Yeah. And you know, you take this into the UAW right now. I'm hearing all of the similar talking points. And in my personal opinion, I think they're actually modeling what Bald Union Guy does. And he actually visited, during all that, he visited the hub that I work at. Now, granted, I wasn't there because I work nights. He came in the morning during the day. So, I mean, this guy really does travel the country. He really does look after everybody. And the Teamsters is one of the, you know, Jimmy Hoffa was the president of that union.
It's a very active union. The people that represent that union, like Bald Guy there, for the $190,000 a year that guy makes, I'm guessing if he doesn't bust his ass every day, someone will beat the fuck out of him because...
all of his members will.
Right. Of course he makes that much money.
Now,
probably, and he fucking should. God damn it. You know? When I
started with UPS, he was not the president. I voted for him because all the other all the union delegates in my local were pushing for that, and as far as I know, he got a lot of the vote, and there really wasn't any competition. And you can see why, because he was doing an old union tactic there, intimidation, and say like, well, fuck you, well now fuck you, and then you know you could hear it. They both wanted to tell each other to go fuck themselves, and they both showed restraint, and actually got to their points pretty quickly, unlike me most of the time.
Yeah, well, I think you've done a fairly good job this time, Rob.
Yeah, and I knew you would like that video. I kind of sat on it for a little while thinking maybe, you know, when you're not getting when Amanda's dildos aren't shipping out, or when anybody's not getting their shit that is not coming in the mail. You know, FedEx can't handle the volume of UPS's volume. If UPS just got nuked and there were no more UPS left, the post office and FedEx couldn't handle that. So UPS had a lot of leverage, but when we withheld our labor, guess who's not getting their dildo?
Exactly. Yep. They need their dildos. I love it. All right.
So, yeah, we had them by the balls and we won. So UAW, they deemed a strike because it's the exact same thing. These guys the CEOs are making tens upon millions of dollars, giving themselves big ass bonuses, paying out dividends to the shareholders, while the workers themselves, at least for the most part, will be impoverished on the street. I mean, to give you context, I was making $17 an hour at the start of this year. By the end of the year, I'll be making $25 an hour.
Nice.
Which is actually livable, and it's actually close to that 40% that they're asking for. So it is not unreasonable at all.
No, it's not.
Corey can go on a nice little research trip, which I know he won't, but if he wants to know more, do the research.
Yeah.
And live it. The truth is on the union side, not Senator or anybody who thinks that unions are bad, because quite frankly, when you go into one of these hot ass warehouses and actually work for one day, and believe me, you will lose weight. I lost 40 pounds on that motherfucking UPS diet. There's another guy that lost 60. He was 240. Now he's skinnier than me even. He's like 60 years old. So,
yeah,
you know, you want to go on a diet, you want to do all these things about fraudulent fatties and eat right. Fuck that. I can eat. I mean, I'm going to eat my words in about 10, 15 years, but you know what? I can eat pretty much anything I want, and I still lose weight because I'm working my ass off.
Attaboy.
In the heat. So, and I'm one of the slower guys. So it's one of those things that, you know, you can sit here and say union laborers are lazy. Well, the reason they're lazy is because they're doing back-breaking work. I know guys that have life-changing injuries, limps, and they're in their 40s. And a guy who works the same exact job I do was a UPS driver for a while. He had to stop driving because he got injured, but he can't feel his left wrist. And maybe he's just lying to me and saying I'm probably just masturbated too much. But the fact of the matter is that there are guys there that are practically crippled from working at UPS. That's just UPS. I have no idea about any other union company, but yeah, they're actually some pretty decent, hard ass working union people. So that impression that I have firsthand accounts that union workers work just as hard, if not harder, than non-union, at least in my job.
All right. Well, you don't get hurt, and have a good one.
Will do.
All right, buddy. Thank you. There you go. That is Blue State Rob adding some perspective. Let me set the record straight here. Corey says there are pros and cons to unions. Not being able to fire an employee who's underperforming because they're in a union is a con. Now, wait a minute here, asshole. You can too fire a person. You have to. There's a little bit more to it than just suddenly the boss doesn't like something you did and in a fit of rage says you're fired. You know, in some cases, that's throwing the baby out with the bathwater. Wouldn't you like it if you had a job where if you did fuck something up, the boss would have to go through a series of steps in order to actually get you removed to make sure that it's an appropriate firing? That's how that works. You know? My God. Well, anyway, that's how it's going in America today. Out of the blue, when Rob is giving an anecdote, Hurricane Ashley drops, "Nobody asked Rob." And I'm like, shut it. He's doing great. Oh, I'm kidding. Can't you just listen to the conversation and have a good time? Rob says you can fire someone for not doing their job. The union will not back you up if you just sit there and slack off. That's a common misconception that dumb shits like Corey think. Corey says you shouldn't be forced into a union if you want to work in a certain place. No, bullshit. That's union busting. That's the point. You work as a union. My God. All right. Thank you, Rob. Okay. This show on Facebook, X, and YouTube is about to end. It will continue on Twitter, though. On Twitch. Download the Twitch app in the App Store or whatever, or Google Play, and then search Eric Zane Live on Twitch, or just go to twitch.tv/Eric Zane Live. Most people get it through their phones, some through their desktops, but that's how you do that. Follow the page and you will know when I go live. It's that simple. If you want, link up your Amazon Prime account for free. You get one a month, and you have to do it manually each month. But when you do that, when you're watching the show, you won't be inundated with the commercials that Amazon or Twitch puts into the stream. Otherwise, it's free. If you want to throw a few bucks at it, you can bypass all those commercials. That's up to you. If not, just sit through the commercials and off you go. I was getting a lot of comments from people saying, "Oh, Rob's talking. I want more commercials." Come on, give him a break. He did a good job. It's the topic of today, that the American manufacturing industry is going downhill today, and work stoppage is going to fuck everything up for a lot of people. And he, of course, is part of the Teamsters Union that represents him and all of his sisters and brothers at UPS. Well done. Thought you did a good job. All right. So you folks on Facebook, X, and YouTube, have a good one. Thank you for watching. Twitch and Facebook brought to you by Irvine's Auto Repair, Grand Rapids Hybrid, and EV. Thank you so much. Auto parts might be limited for repairing your car. That might even affect Irvine's, for God's sake. T-shirts and so much more available at ericzaneshow.com. Click on merch. You can buy your coffee mug. You can buy your T-shirt. You can buy your hoodie. 7 different designs to choose from. Thank you to Blue Frost IT, the online managed service provider for the Eric Zane Show podcast. If you have a small or medium-sized business, consider reaching out to Blue Frost IT for anything technical that might be slowing the business down. Okay, it's nice to have an IT company on hand that you have a relationship with, so that if anything does go south, you can tap into their resources. They can remote in and take care of whatever it is, or boots on the ground. Show up at your place of business in West Michigan and take care of any necessary changes, updates, repairs that may be needed. If you're looking to upgrade your gear at your business, sit down for a 30-minute consultation with Blue Frost IT. 616-200-8550. They can take you through everything so that they can tell you what you need to upgrade your stuff. Because if you just go to the buy something online on Amazon, or go to Best Buy of all things and just start buying stuff off the shelf, you're going to buy too much. You're going to buy too little. You're going to buy something that's not correct. And that's time and money. And you just can't have that. Thank you, Blue Frost IT. 616-200-8550 or online at bluefrostit.com. Mention your old pal EZ. Rick from TC Paintball. Oh, my gosh. What a year for TC Paintball. My gosh, it has been just fantastic. And that continues. We have we're going to very soon schedule the Slaughter the Pumpkin paintball event, Paintball War number 23, with Team Mexico against Team U.S. Again, waiting on Rick. I know Gabe the Honduran, who is a diehard listener of this show, is like, dude, when is it happening? I was like, dude, I know. I'm with you. Tell the gang over there in your neck of the woods that we're working on it. Rick keeps telling me it's going to happen. I got to wait on Rick. When the paintball war is announced, you gather up your pals, and I will see you there at TC Paintball. In the meantime, book an event. TCPaintballGR.com is where you go. Book an event for you and your crew to play paintball. The number one paintball destination in the great state of Michigan, dare I say the Midwest. TC Paintball. Outdoor play, indoor play. Fully stocked pro shop at TC Paintball. And then, before I have to go tinkle, Frank Fuss at My Policy Shop Insurance, working tirelessly for you for your life insurance needs, which I touched on earlier this week, and I'm going to again right now. So you've got your cute little family, and you got your husband or wife, and you've got your kids. So let's say your dad and mom says, hey, I'm going to raise these kids, put my career on hold, and raise these kids for the next 10 years. We've got 3 kids, and she's a stay-at-home mom. And you're working hard to provide for the family. But then, God forbid, something happens. Okay? And now you don't have life insurance. She's screwed royally. Okay? Load up on the life insurance. You can get a tremendous life insurance policy, especially for you young audience members, for next to nothing, because your health is awesome. Okay? You're young. You have no known health issues. You have you're a super preferred customer. You're getting hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars in insurance for very little cost each month. Okay? What a peace of mind knowing that if something that most likely won't happens to you, your lovely family is taken care of while they grieve, while mom doesn't have to go back to work to earn money to keep the family going. And that's a horrible thing to even think about, but it could absolutely happen to you. So let's bypass all of that and get a life insurance policy. Frank Fuss from My Policy Shop Insurance is going to get that for you, and you're not going to pay him one dime. He makes his money from the insurance companies who you are buying a policy from. He is a licensed independent insurance agent / broker, and you should reach out to him. You can either go to mypolicishop.com or go to buyinsurancehere.com. Either way, you're going to fill out a form, and then you're going to be on his radar, and he's going to make this happen for you. Make sure you indicate to him that you found out about him on my show. This is not negotiable if you have a significant other or or children, okay? Make this happen now. It's not going to cost you that much money at all, and the peace of mind that you are guaranteed to have is incredible, okay? If I ever, piss Diana off and she pushes me off a mountain, she's going to be a rich lady. I've had insurance since I actually started. It was before we got married. I had insurance. I first started out with my mother as a benefactor. And then upon getting married, I, of course, made it my wife. And then I bought more insurance and more insurance and more insurance. If I take a dirt nap today, my wife's going to be like, yes, yes. And I'm like, yes, you go out and you get some black dick. That's what you do. That's how I want you to grieve. 2 black dicks. Okay? Because I know she's into BBC. Because I was fortunate enough to win her over. I told you about that. She was dating that guy who was black as night. Like Wesley Snipes level of black. And she was turned on by me. And I stole her. The guy's name was Adam. Black Adam, as they say. I think one of you said that yesterday or the day before when I talked about this. But it's true. My wife was totally into BBC. And if it wasn't for me, she'd still be into it. You know? All right. MyPolicyShop.com. I think while I was doing that awesome commercial talking about my wife and BBC, you guys are talking about RFK Jr. What the hell are you doing? Nate writes, Eric is the perfect example. I'm not sure what I'm the perfect example of. I know nobody that works harder. Imagine working somewhere where you obviously do more than anybody else, but can get a dime more because of a contract. Sit and watch those fucks walk around and make plans for the weekend. I only read that because you said something nice about me. I don't even care what your point was. The only thing I care about is that you say something nice about me. I don't know if what you can say about me is working hard, though. I just have to be organized. I will spend a lot of hours in a day doing this, but I can't really say that equates to a physical drain. You know? I think that a person who's actually has to bend at the knees and back and lift something is, to me, that's more. I equate physical work to work. I don't equate. I have a hard time saying that this is real work. It's consuming my time, but I don't know. I can't really, I would feel bad saying, yeah, I grind. I work my fucking dick off. You know? It's a little weird to me. Plus, I really enjoy this. If I hated it, I might call it work. Like, even when I'm making French fries, I love that job. Okay? Now, I don't do it every day, so maybe if I did it every day, I might feel different. But I love being in the kitchen. You know? Aram says, I would rather do physical work than have to talk for long periods of time. Yeah, I could understand that. And I think that I'm kind of institutionalized, being that I've had to do this for so many years, that it kind of is as normal to me as breathing. So I may have hated it at one point, but it's not really that difficult nowadays, just being able to communicate. And then Corey throws in nice pedophile state sweatshirt. Yes, I'm wearing the Nittany Lions Penn State gear. It's true that there was a horrible scandal many years ago where the one coach, in addition to teaching defensive schemes, was putting his ding-dong in the buttholes of children. All right? That's horrible. But those days are gone. And Michigan State in the Big Ten has become the new school of rape. All right? The biggest benefactor from the Michigan State scandals has been Penn State. You really have to work. You really have to work to wrestle that mantle from a school where the coach was putting his ding-dong in children. Okay? I think it's 1 and 1A, but because Michigan State happened more recently than Penn State, you know, they'll both never be forgotten. But my God. But thanks for pointing it out, jerk. Referring to Mel Tucker, the lady who is accusing Mel Tucker of those terrible things of pounding his butt on the phone, she described it as rhythmic slapping sounds. I'm telling you, man, those iPhones, they really pick up the sound. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. When it's going down, when I'm showing off my moves, the Queen of the Forest, I'm all for rhythmic slapping sounds. Those are the sounds that I like. That's, you know, I mean, sitting here right here would make me uncomfortable. But if I was like nude, you know, with Diana, holy cow. Linda says, no. The rhythmic slapping sounds was the Sandusky in the locker room. Yeah, that was rough. All right, this is all strange to me. Your old pal EZ has to go tinkle. The ginger quarterback Mike McQueary described rhythmic slapping sounds. God damn. The fact that the quarterback who witnessed it, quarterback's coach, her former quarterback, now and then was an assistant with Penn State, that ginger, his name is Mike McQueary, of all things. It's so odd. That's as bad if his name was Mike McButtsex from Coach on Boys. All right, I'll be right back. I got to go tinkle. A little bit of discussion about Penn State. I think we can all agree that if you're watching an old man rape a child, the only recourse is to assist the child so that the old man stops at that exact moment raping the child. Any decision other than stopping the rape is a wrong decision. We can all agree with that, right? So when Mike McQueary watched the rape of the child and then turned around and told the rest of the coaching staff that was a mistake. Okay? That's a horrible, horrible mistake. Rob suggests that he didn't see an old man rape a child. His story is so inconsistent, there's no way he saw Jerry's ding-dong going into a butthole. Yeah, but idiot, he saw the kid bent over and him ramming from behind. Of course, his body would be blocking the actual entry of the ding-dong going in there. He witnessed what most would assume is anal sex happening, or something that is inappropriate at the very least. Even if he were just kissing the boy, we would have to assume that something terrible was happening. I don't understand how in one day, in one show, you can go from making some great logical points to being the asshole of the day so quickly. You're actually defending Jerry Sandusky. Ladies and gentlemen, on this show, Blue State Rob will always be known as the defender of Jerry Sandusky. No, I'm not calling you again. No one wants to hear your voice with you and the whole Jerry Sandusky thing. He says he's not defending him, asshole. Look, we're just making the point that whatever was seen by McQuarrie should have been stopped. Aram says, I am interested in hearing Rob talk his way out of this. All right. I am too. Let's see what can happen here.
Okay, I'm not defending the action, you dummy.
Oh, okay. Well, fill me in. What just happened?
So what I am telling you is that Mike McQuarrie, again, remember, I was a junior at Penn State when this scandal went down. So I looked into some of this, and Mike McQuarrie's the whole Jerry Sandusky case is built on that testimony. Without Mike McQuarrie, Jerry Sandusky's a free man. That's a very complicated situation, so I'm not going to get into that. But what I'm saying is that, in my personal opinion, based on what Mike McQuarrie is saying, he did not see Jerry Sandusky put point A to point B, which is the boy. What I think happened is he went in there, he heard what he thought was sex, and ran out, didn't know what to do. He went to Joe Paterno. Joe Paterno didn't know what to do because, in Joe Paterno's own words, he didn't know that a man could be raped, for the lack of a better way of saying it. So what I'm saying is in my personal opinion, based off of his testimony, which has been a little inconsistent, and where it all gets confused is the common narrative is that he saw Jerry Sandusky raping the boy, and he went to Joe Paterno. Joe Paterno did nothing. No, they worked it up the chain. Now, that's not the right thing to do. Obviously, Bob Costas put it the right way. Yeah, he did everything legally what he's supposed to do, but morally he didn't do what he was supposed to do. So why Joe Paterno ended up in the situation that he was in was because of him not getting all the accurate information of what Mike McQuarrie said he thought he saw or what he says he heard. I mean, it's a common misunderstanding there based off of what information actually out.
But what is being proposed that the average person is supposed to wrap their head around are these two things, which you indicated. And if that is true, we have to wrap our mind around Mike McQuarrie hears something that he thinks is sex, doesn't investigate, chooses not to investigate, but instead chooses to take what he thinks he heard and tells someone rather than taking a peek. Okay, so we have to believe that. That's weird.
well, Eric, let's think about this logically. Take out emotion out of it for a second and actually think, okay, you're at the YMCA and you think you hear, there's no mistaking the sounds. I mean, there's no mistaking it. You think you hear what he described as rhythmic slapping. And in that way, we're all going to think, okay, it's going to sound like Justin's mouth. You are going to automatically think that's sex. I don't want to see that. So you run out and be like, "Hey, Jerry was being inappropriate."
I don't
from that. So that's the common thing. I think Joe Paterno and anybody that McQueary told, he could not utter the words, "Hey, I saw Jerry Sandusky's ding dong going into a young kid's butthole."
Okay.
I don't think anybody at Penn State was ever told that.
Well, at the same time, though, if he then goes to Paterno and tells him. So then we have to wrap our mind around that. And then we have to wrap our mind around, hey, coach, I think Jerry Sandusky is raping a boy. Is that?
That's what, well, again, that's at the time in 2002, when this all happened, Joe Paterno concluded after the fact and after all the backlash and right before he died, he said, he told the Washington Post, I never heard of rape in a man.
That's bullshit. That point, him saying that, I don't believe that. That's bullshit.
I don't buy that either. But for the argument's sake, is that if he was told that, I hope he would have gone to the police. And that's why I think that's where all this is like. Wait, because we all knew after the fact. Oh, this is what he's charged with. This is what he's saying. How could you not go to the police? Well, I don't think he knew that because. It was a failure of imagination. Probably.
Yeah, I don't believe that in this. I think that all of this is some wiggling being done by everyone involved to somehow, sidestep their way out of this. But my general feeling is that all of these people that you've mentioned are equally responsible for that child and more children being in the future. Yes. So we agree. We agree.
All fucked up.
But you're the only one that loves Jerry Sandusky.
Well, I mean, I was 20 the guy when he was in handcuffs. I did want to run down and give him an HJ, but they wouldn't let me do that because they were barricaded.
All right.
And plus, it would have been on camera, so I wouldn't. That would have been a bad idea.
All right. Well, good luck. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. Get out of here. Fucking dumbass. All right. I didn't expect the show to go down the road of talking about the Penn State child rape disaster. This all happened because I happened to wear a hoodie of the Nittany Lion, and fucking Corey again opens up this can of worms by mentioning it. I read it like an asshole. And then Rob starts talking about how Jerry Sandusky should be a free man and how he loves Jerry Sandusky and those kids deserved it. We all heard it. So fucked up. Burn that hoodie next time you're at Fear Bunker North. No, I love this hoodie. This is like one of the most comfortable pieces of clothing I have. Chris is suggesting Rob's new name is Pedo Rob. I've had a lot of strange audience members over the years. Most of them are gone now, thank God. But, I never had some come right out on the show and say that they love to see children hurt. Corey says you should send that sweatshirt to Dean. I'm sure he'd love it. Aw, poor Dean. Right. Keyword from Big Fraud just now. Most of them are gone. Yeah, I think they're all gone. There are some that still communicate with them on Castaways United. I know that Amanda and Kenny are moles for them and take every word I say and tell them. I may not have any proof of that. There's one particular person, Wycon Rob, who I know participates in their show. And I haven't seen anything debilitating or damning fly out of his or her mouth concerning your old pal EZ, but I know he does like both shows. And there are people who do like both shows, this show and the Boomer Bunker, which is now heard on Kick. Okay. And it by the way, they're up to 14 people following the show on Kick and 52 following on Grumble. So they are off and running. That show on Twitch had 35,000 followers. And they got canceled. I'm pretty sure that they were dividing up about $11,000 a month on that show. Aram says they threw me out and I never once shared any of their conversations. Yeah, Aram's a straight shooter, man. He doesn't fuck around like Kenny does. Ryan says, I think I'm going to become a bunker regular. I love watching the car crashes. Kenny says, what the fuck? I do know that one of my moles told me that the other day Bob was going off, or John, God, I get those two morons mixed up. John was going off and discussing the post-mortem of our conversation, and Kate and Bob hate it. They do not engage him about it. He's just talking, and they're not concerned at all. But then they both admit to watching our entire Fat Fuck Summit. Yeah, we watched it, but then they won't comment about it. Cole says, I would watch The Bunker now and then until they got that ugly guy, Kate, involved. Well, Kate's not ugly. All right. Boy, we've covered a lot of ground here. Stuff that I didn't really expect to cover. Have you heard the story about Danilo Cavalcante, the guy who was picked up, the guy who murdered two people, and he escaped prison in Pennsylvania by easily escaping that wall? What I don't understand is Cavalcante, he climbed that wall, and then he had to get through razor wire. Now, if you've ever seen razor wire, it can cut your face and hands just by looking at it. It is, I don't know how it even happened. God damn. But they've interviewed Cavalcante, and he's talking about his escape. He's actually revealing it to authorities as to what he did. I'm not going to lie to you. If I was incarcerated for anything, whether I did it or not, I'm plotting my escape the day I get in there. I'm looking for anything that could be a weak point and waiting. Because if, let's say I've got a 100-year sentence, I've got time to hope that somehow I can locate a soft spot. But him getting through the razor wire alone is insane. He's telling cops now that he survived for nearly 2 weeks by stealing watermelons. By the way, I predict that as that news gets out, there's going to be some stupid radio guy who's going to take the stealing the watermelon angle of this and is going to say something that they shouldn't and get fired. With some, pardon the pun, low-hanging fruit jokes. He also said that officers scouring the area had gotten so close they nearly stepped on him 3 times. The article goes on to say about how 34-year-old Cavalcante was brutally honest after he was apprehended on Wednesday, sharing how he would even bury his poop so as to not, if they see a steaming pile of used watermelon there, they're going to be like, oh my God, what's up here? But so he would cover up his poop. On 3 occasions, law enforcement officers did almost step on him. They were about 7 to 8 yards away from him. He stabbed his ex-girlfriend to death in front of her 2 children in 2021. That's why this psychopath is locked away. Prosecutors are expected to levy additional charges for crimes he committed during his 14 days on the run. He indicated to authorities that the rifle that he stole, he was going to use that to carjack somebody, and he would have been in Canada in 24 hours. That was the plan. Carjack somebody with that rifle, get in the car, and then drive to Canada. I don't know if that would have worked. The second you carjack somebody, you've revealed who you are, where you are. They're going to be able to track you down quite easily with an easy description of the vehicle. Very difficult to escape prison. I just love the fact that the dog did it, though. The dog actually busted the guy. Here's the dog. This, I forgot what they say this dog is called again. It looks like a German Shepherd. This is the guy all bloody after it bit his head. God, there's a video that I wanted to get about that dog. Where was it? Links. Okay, come on. There was some guy who was a dog handler talking about it. Mexico, murder charge. Shit. Okay, here it is. News Nation about how the canine caught Danilo Cavalcante. What is the dog called again? And the dog's name is Yoda. Yoda the dog was the one who was able to do the deed and end the threat. And there was a guy on News Nation that was talking about how this actually happens, how this works. So I want to share this with you in just a second. We're going to watch the end of the stupid commercial. Damn it. I wasn't prepared for this.
All right, for more on the capture, let's bring in Michael Gould, an expert in police canine training and use. Michael, thank you so much for giving us some of your time. First of all, does it come as any surprise to you that a canine would be instrumental in making this successful capture?
Not remotely. Thanks for having me, Nicole. I always predict in circumstances like this, it's going to be the canine technology. I mean, we talk about technology. So the fixed-wing aircraft used heat-seeking technology. The dog is odor-seeking technology. So this doesn't surprise me at all. And it's a great day for law enforcement. And
I love people on the East Coast. Law becomes LAR. Law enforcement. How does that even happen?
And it's a great marriage between high technology and dogs that are, in my mind, technology, nevertheless.
Absolutely. Well, you're certainly an expert in this field, Michael. How are dogs used in situations like this, and why are they really so vital when it comes to this type of search, particularly when the terrain is so rough? We heard it constantly described as such rough terrain.
Right. It's rough for humans, but if you consider it this way, Nicole, dogs are waterproof. They see at night. They have night vision. They are voice activated. So this circumstances couldn't have been more dangerous, right? You have an armed suspect, a murder, escape, heinous crime.
It couldn't be more dangerous, but the dog's like playing. This is what's fun for the dog. He knows he can go bite this guy's fucking head. It's like, let's go eat some Puerto Ricans.
And rather than put law enforcement at risk, the dog is capable of locating and holding, apprehending a suspect. Just
So they tell it to go bite and hold, and it just hangs onto the guy's fucking head.
by how he's trained, of course. He's working at the direction of the handler. So this was an amazing deployment. And if you look at the suspect, the injuries are not at all.
So as we see this, as the guy's talking, they're walking the bad guy through the parking lot with, police all around him. He looks like he's wearing like a hospital gown, and he's shackled. They should have the dog there. Just got an eye on him, that if he even moves one muscle, it'll just bite his cock.
All serious from what I can see. He's walking. He had some blood on his face earlier. So just think about that, how lucky he is, because he certainly could have been shot. And think of how lucky the community is and law enforcement. So the dog is the hero here. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Oh, yeah, I know a lot of people certainly agree with you on that. So we saw that video there of Cavalcante with, the blood running down his head. We know he suffered a bite to the head. Are the dogs usually aggressive once they have located and honed in on the suspect, or was it likely that...
Yes. I don't think they're friendly. I don't think they're going up saying throw the ball.
Maybe the dog was provoked in some way.
No, the dog.
That's a stupid question. Is she suggesting that the dog just goes there and looks at him and won't do anything until the guy pulls out a gun?
Dogs are trained to what we call bite and hold. So because they're taught to bite and hold, that means the injuries associated with that usually are not significant, because the dog only has a mouth to hold. He doesn't have thumbs or hands. So we use their extraordinary clamping mechanism, 250 pounds a square inch. So in this case, of course, there's going to be minimal injuries because dogs have canine teeth. But this, as I said, if you see the suspect, there's no ripped tissues, muscle tissue ripped, there's no deep bites. So that's the only mechanism. And in this case, it's totally warranted.
Absolutely. Michael, last question for you. What's the process like for training dogs when it's such an intensive search like this? We know just a few days ago, we heard from the lieutenant colonel there about a canine that had to be taken to the vet due to heat exhaustion.
Right. So they are subjected to that. I worked at Ground Zero right at 9/11, and I had explosive detection dogs. And that was a problem because sometimes we get so caught up in our own activities, we don't hydrate ourselves. So we kind of forget the dog needs a rest and hydrate, and in the excitement of it. But the training program for canines is longer than the police academy for humans.
Yeah, humans, they graduate when they've figured out they can just shoot the black people.
It's very intensive. These scenarios are practiced day in and day out under every circumstance. As I said, rain, sleet, hail, snow, the dogs can be deployed. Unlike, for example,
wasn't there a story where some black guy got pulled over or something like that, and all the other cops were gathered around, and the one guy shows up with his dog, and the black guy's got his hands over his head, and then all the other cops go, "Hey, make sure you don't deploy the dog. Don't deploy the dog." And then the cop goes, "There's a black guy, go bite him," and actually deployed the dog.
Fixed wing aircraft or other technology. So the dogs are an amazing piece of technology from my biased perception.
Well, listen, they certainly are an amazing piece of technology. Canine expert Michael Gould.
All right. I'm fascinated by dogs in their policing efforts. Ryan says, canines are better trained than regular beat cops. Great. Aram says he trained his labs to go find someone and come back to tell me when they found him and then show me where he is. What, like fucking Lassie? My God. Kenny says they are not a piece of technology. Weird to refer to dogs as that. Yeah, I agree. Isn't technology like fucking RoboCop or, a Terminator? I don't know. Zane's house is full of odor-seeking technology. This is true. Yeah, my dogs just want to be pet. technology is manufactured. Come on. Well, the guy can't even say law. What do you expect? Come on now. Law enforcement. I kind of just want to go up to a person who says law enforcement. Just say, look, we need to break this down. This is English. L-A-W. That W is not an R sound. How is it that you've been trained to say law enforcement? That's right up there with axe. I see intelligent, wonderful people, men, women, saying break the law. And others saying, I'm going to axe you something. And that's not just black people. Italians do it too. New Yorkers, East Coast, law enforcement, asks you a question. I don't want to know people who say law enforcement. You're going to break the law. Unacceptable. I'm going to get a lawyer. If you need a lawyer, you would say a lawyer. Washington. My Uncle Jim used to say, I got to do the wash. Not acceptable. Chris in Maine says, I think they save the slack-jawed, marble-mouthed W and H endings for where it should be an R, then the compensate by swapping when it should actually end in a W. Yeah, that's taken the long way to say it's fucked. Aram seems to know things. He writes, speaking like he has a definitive answer of it's a derivative of the Queen's English when we were occupied by the Redcoats. Well, stop it. When you see L-A-W, say law instead of lar, dick. All right. Once again, thank you to A&E Heating and Cooling. Joe Martinez, 616-516-8579. The almighty Joe. Very important that this time of year, you head on over, I should say, Joe Martinez, 616-516-8579. Very, very important to get that furnace checked. Then you officially have a guy. Okay? Joe is awesome. $79. Get your furnace tuned, ready to go. For the heating season, you should see him twice a year. Now, if you do have anything wrong with your setup, Joe can help. Scheduled maintenance, preventative maintenance, in an emergency, or if you need a whole new setup, furnace, AC, Joe Martinez, A&E Heating and Cooling, 616-516-8579. Now we have the debate about, is it crayons? Is it crayons? Some say crowns. That it's debatable about crayon or crayon. I think if I'm paying attention, I would say crayon most of the time. But I have said crayons. Get your crayons. Let's color with the crayons. Crown is out. If you're around someone that says crown, leave that person. It is a crayon. Ben Glaze votes crayons. It's spelled C-R-A-Y-O-N-S. Crayons. This is a debate we can really break down at some later point in time. But I think we got to let it go. Call Joe, 616-516-8579. We've got Irvine's Auto Repair, Grand Rapids Hybrid and EV. The place to get your vehicles repaired, scheduled maintenance, preventative maintenance, emergency repairs. They have loaner cars for you for free while your car is getting fixed. Early bird drop off, late bird pickup, 616-532-6600 for Irvine's. Online at ervines.com. When you support the sponsors of the show continues to be free and continues to grow. Thank you very much. Do not support the former sponsors. Only support the current sponsors. I have one who's in between. Do not support dumpster divers until they actually spend money. You must call dumpster divers and say, I was going to spend it with you, but now I'm going to whatever dumpster company until you start to drop some coin with EZ. Do not go to Baldwin Ace Hardware. Thank you to Van Dyke Mortgage, the Mario Flores Lakeshore team of Van Dyke Mortgage. 231-332-6505. No matter where you are in the U.S., you can get a mortgage. 231-332-6505. Call today if you're thinking, Darla, if you're thinking about getting a mortgage. So helpful. They can make it happen for you. Or perhaps you're just getting money out of your home to pay off a high-interest credit card bill. Van Dyke Mortgage, the Mario Flores Lakeshore team at 231-332-6505. And finally, King's Room Barbershop. I went over to King's Room yesterday to get my haircut. And, oh my God, they had 3 people cutting hair, and they had 10 bros waiting. It was almost a line out the door. Well done. I'm going to have to go at a time when it's not so busy, but everything, there's no appointments necessary. You'll wait a few minutes at the most. But I had to be at another location just a handful of minutes later, so I couldn't stick around. That was the Caledonia location. You have 3 to choose from: Caledonia, Northland Drive, and then the newest location. They've moved from Rogers Plaza to 821 36th Street, also in Wyoming, right next to the costume room. King's Room Barbershop. Men, get your cut there. Get your hair cut there. Forget Jude's. Forget Sport Clips, and forget, what's the other one? Lady Jane. Screw all those. Go to King's Room Barbershop and mention my name. All the details, locations, times, schedules, prices at the website, kingsroom.net. Your asshole of the day today. Yesterday, it was Niles Wilson. What was that about? Something to do with the police. I'm not sure. Who is our asshole of the day today? If you have any suggestions, send them along. I think I know who it is. I think I know. It's not going to be Blue State Rob. I couldn't even get all the words in. U.S. car manufacturers, fuck you. Union strong. Shut those fuckers down. There you go. That is your asshole of the day today for this, the 15th of September, 2023. I'll be back with you on Patreon. Thank you for being here, folks. Love you. Bye-bye.